The Jomon period is the key to understanding the world's ancient civilizations. The clay figures with the sunshades aren't aliens.
I was so surprised to see that the artifacts of the Jomon culture had so many artifacts identical to those of the Balkans 6 or 7 thousand years ago.
Tabby, I thought we were here to discuss Dr. Shizuka Shirakawa's research on kanji, and suddenly you are talking about the Balkans in East Europe. So what on earth do you think is similar about the Balkans and the Jomon period in Japan?
First, the patterns on the pottery. The S figure and the spiral patterns are used a lot in the Jomon pottery as well. And then there are pots with two mouths. Then there are also clay figures with faces that look just like snakes and cylinder-shaped figures without arms or legs that are identical. And also, the stamped seal-shaped earthenware looks exactly the same to me.
Tabby, you are right. The Balkan and the Jomon artifacts are so similar, you almost can't tell the difference. Now, when you find very similar things that are being made in different cultures, a debate is certain to arise, and that is as to whether those things were invented independently or whether one was influenced by the other.
If they were made independently, why would they be so similar?
That's easy to answer. For example, in this case, the people who were living in the Balkans and the people of the Jomon period in Japan could both have been races that had the snake as their totem, so that they would make things that represented snakes. And of course, the clay figure would have a face that looks just like a snake, and the spiral would be a coiled snake, and the S figure would be snakes mating. The twin-mouthed clay pot would represent the two holes of the female snake's genitalia.
Even so, compared to other parts of ancient culture, the Balkans and the Jomon period seem too alike.
That's right. So if we ponder whether one was influenced by the other, it would be that the Jomon people were probably influenced by the Balkans. And that is because all the artifacts in the Balkans were made at a time far earlier than those of the Jomon period.
Was there a route by which the culture of the Balkans could have been conveyed to the islands of Japan?
There was once a gourd that was found in a shell mound from an earlier period of the Jomon period in Fukui Prefecture. The gourd was native to West Africa. The Balkans are close to that route that goes from West Africa to the Japanese archipelago.
So naturally, wasn't the Jomon culture influenced by the Balkan culture?
Even if it makes sense geographically, the problem is still with the timing. The cylindrical clay figures from the Balkans are 3,000 to 4,000 years older, and the stamp-sealed shaped ones are about 5,000 years older.
I guess the periods are too far apart.
So it would seem that the conclusion would be that the Balkan and Jomon cultures made very similar things independently due to their both using the snake as their totem. Yet, it can be said that more information could be gathered about the artisans of the Jomon artifacts. That is why I think it might be useful to study the Balkan pottery and clay figures using the results of researching those of the Jomon culture.